before you get hurt.
Ha! Good one, Hot Topic.
Live and learn! Oh, this movie was so fucking good.
I can't believe they did that. I knew they were going to fit that in somewhere, but still, I didn't think it would actually happen.
Okay, first off, I can say with wholeheartedness that I have the best theater owner on the planet. Dave Flegel, on a quite regular basis, will create showtimes for me to watch movies. And he did such a thing today. I said I had another podcast to record, and I could make it to the theater at 5:30. Do you think you could have a showing today? And he went, let me see what I can do. I get close to being done with work, and he goes, be here at 5:30, I'll have it ready. So I go into that theater and have the entire thing to myself to watch Sonic. Because we're going to skip ahead a little bit here. When I tell you that I, with the excitement of hearing Falcon in Endgame levels, hear Crush 40 start playing after they freaking Predator their hands and then both go supersonic in Shadow, I, at the top of my fucking lungs, Mike, were screaming live and learn when that fucking track hit. Screaming it! And then they bring it back again when they finally hit all the Robotnik robots and start shredding house. That moment alone should win them Best Adaptation at the Game Awards next year.
It has to. Like, I don't... Obviously, I don't think Arcane is eligible for next year's awards, but yeah, this obviously deserves it because...
Also, got this from the theater.
Nice.
But, yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna take a miracle of God for me to like another video game adaptation more than this for next year's Game Awards.
Yeah. This... I'm having trouble putting into words just how perfect this movie turned out.
I saw people critics hyping up this movie quite a bit. Outside of IGN, but whatever. Even if they switch reviewers, there's some days where I'm just like, I don't know if you guys like movies, despite that you change reviewers quite a bit. But I was like, okay, first off, I have to remind everyone, I don't know if I have it. Do I have it? Now that we know, and I've talked with Zane about this, I believe I've talked to you about this, but I said it as a prediction, I'm pretty sure, in our first Sonic review, and I am saying it now. Paramount, you nailed it with Idris Elba as Knuckles. Get Keanu Reeves to be Shadow. I'm just saying I have to remind that call out every time that I can, because I nailed it.
You did. And he did.
Oh, he was perfect. He was reserved. He wasn't as normal talking. He actually showed vulnerability a lot in like softer moments that he's never really gotten to do in certain roles. I'm not saying that Keanu Reeves ever phones anything in, but I thought this might have been one of those moments where they didn't really let him do anything other than the stock I'm Keanu Reeves voice, because they do that every now and then with normal actors, but holy crap. Like, holy shit. He did so good.
It's perfect. This is... casting choices like Keanu Reeves or even Idris Elba, and to a lesser extent Ben Schwartz, because he has been... He's kind of like J.K. Simmons, where he goes like back and forth between live action and like voice acting. But my point is, this performance is the reason why I'm not 100% against celebrity voice actors.
Because, and here's the thing, you can tell at moments when the actor gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Keanu Reeves accepting this role went, this is going to be a really cool thing for fans that love this character, and I'm going to nail it. Because every time he signs up for something where he know a fandom is depending on him, he fucking crushes it.
Now, I don't know if we brought this up last time or in any of our discussions, but the director, Jeff Fowler, actually has like a deeper connection to Shadow than probably any other filmmaker has had with video game material.
I remember you bringing this up, but I'm blanking on exactly what it was.
So he worked on the cutscenes for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh my god. That explains a lot. I couldn't remember what he was, but yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, so his official credit on Wikipedia is CGI movie production. So I'm assuming that's what it is, like the cutscenes and all of that.
Yeah. By the way, I saw a credit in here for artistic consultant Jim Carrey. He has an artistic consultant credit on this movie.
I get it.
It was buried 80% of the way through the end credits. Of like, unless there is another Jim Carrey in this movie, that's spectacular. But, okay. So this movie starts out. I have to start that everyone, when this movie got announced, everyone thought that Kristen Ritter was going to be Amy.
We'll get to the Amy in the room later.
But having her just be a normal human and them just never showing her in trailers, they were like, we're going to get some people thinking we're casting characters, even though every time we've shown a new character, we've never given them a voice till the next movie.
Yeah.
They literally have a track record of doing it every time. 3 movies in a row now. But they get into the meat of this movie hot and fast. This movie wastes no time.
Nope.
There's no fat on this film whatsoever. And I appreciate the living shit out of that. I was in it like, was this under 2 hours?
Let me grab the official runtime.
Because I was starting mine at 5:30 and I felt I got out of there barely after 7 o'clock.
An hour 49.
Hour 49, exactly. They knew the movie they wanted to make and they did not need anything else with it. It was perfect. I was happy to get a short one. Because I'm not kidding you. I could have used another half an hour of Shadow. But you know what? We're gonna get more Shadow.
Oh, 1,000%.
I'm telling you right now, that fucker might get his own trilogy.
Trilogy, yeah. Yeah, no, it's happening.
At this point, holy shit. But, yeah. The chemistry of these leads, I'm so happy. We've mentioned that we're okay in certain points with celebrity voice acting. But seeing Colleen O'Shaughnessy get to stay in there as Tails to show that she's just as good as these people, if not better.
Oh, absolutely. And
it's great to see.
And I can say this now that he's like between the movies and I never actually saw the Knuckles series, but I've watched some clips. Ben Schwartz is like literally right up there with Jason Griffith, Roger Craig Smith, even Jaleel White. Like he is Sonic now.
Yeah, he is. He is nailing it. When they finally let him get serious at moments, it's great. And like again, one last thing where Colleen, they could have easily done something, and I'm not saying that I hate this actor, but they could have done the timely thing and went, we're gonna have Tom Holland be Tails, but they didn't. And I'm so happy they didn't. Because when they have the, like, you're not a established person and we actually let one of your people be in here to be the person, it's fantastic. Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves carry this movie for the most part. And I feel that's because they wanted them to, not because they felt the other characters couldn't.
No, this is an example of like the villains taking the spotlight because the story demands it.
Exactly.
Also, the fact that Jim Carrey is acting most of the time against himself is brilliant.
It's like we're two different characters being played by the same actor in the same movie. Stares at the camera. Not expecting that. What? I died. I was not expecting that. And he gave himself two completely total and separate identities as these characters, which was awesome. And I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he plays Danny Rojas in Ted Lasso. This dude is slowly becoming the king of tiny cameos in blockbuster movies. He was the bartender in Venom and all the other movies where the after credit scenes got played, where Venom is at that bar in Mexico. And now he's in this whatever Mexican soap opera's playing that freaking Robotnik's watching, and he plays two versions of himself.
So the actor, his name is Cristobal Fernandez.
Yes, and I for shits and giggles, went and looked at predictions for this movie. People thought he was going to be Big the Cat. People, we are moving slow and we're growing this cast. We needed some more people before we need Big the Cat. Sorry.
I still think Rouge will show up later in the series.
You know what she's going to show up in? Shadow's movie.
Oh, yeah. Which is 100% happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, I'll say it now just because the news dropped today. Sonic 4 is in the works.
Oh! Shock and horror! You gotta be kidding me!
It's not coming out till 2027, but I have a prediction. In between that, so like
there's gonna be a Shadow series, or something like that, or a Amy series. I'm going to make a prediction right now because I want to know if I can go 2 for 2 here, and I think this person would be perfect. And they haven't gotten to do a lot of voice acting. Now, if they go cooler with it, kind of have her being the crush on Sonic, but not being the crazy girlfriend crush, and have her just be one of the gang, Paramount. Anna Kendrick is right there.
I like it. I like it a lot.
She'd be fucking perfect.
Now hold on. In that same spirit, but also if we're letting professional voice actors get more.
If we are, yes.
Ashley Birch.
Trust me, we talked about it in the last one. I want Ashley Birch in that role if they let professional voice actors do it. But I don't know if they're going to let anyone other than Colleen have roles. So I'm trying to play nice. Ashley is my girl. Everyone knows how much I love Horizon. Ashley would be fantastic. But let's see. Those would be my 2 options I'd be very okay with. I'm still going to say it again so that I can have it in this review if I have to find the clips later. Scarlett Johansson's going to be Rouge the Bat. And if they ever have Vex the Crocodile, it's going to be John Cena. It cannot be anyone else. It has to be John Cena. But, okay. So, they do a good job at tugging at heartstrings, but I'm going to be very honest with you. The only negative I'm going to give this movie, and I'm blanking on his name currently, the captain, I believe his rank is captain, that dies giving Walker, that gives Sonic Walters, that gives Sonic the key. That death is very abrupt and just kind of happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I was a little bit nervous when I started seeing reviews saying like, "Oh, this movie will tug at your heartstrings," and that's like the first death scene we get. I was like, I don't know. You're this is what's getting people tugging at the heartstrings.
That didn't. But when they have later, when we get around, before we get away from it, outside, this is a bold claim, and I'm going to stand by it. I don't care, because it was one of the coolest things I've seen in a film in my life. Outside of the original film in which it happened, this movie might have the best Akira slide committed to film.
Yeah.
Shadow is sliding backwards, holding a pistol towards Sonic, backwards up a skyscraper as he lands in the air, jumps off the bike, and back at him. I'm sorry, you're not topping that outside of the original.
No, you really aren't.
You really aren't. Y'all can try, but you're not going to do it. But the tugging at your heartstrings, this is a trilogy. This one is. There's going to be more. I wouldn't doubt if this thing gets 3 trilogies, because these actors can keep going. And they're cranking these movies out 1 every 2 years. Pretty much.
It's honestly pretty impressive.
And the fact that they're, in my opinion, going up in quality as they go. Jeff Fowler knows what he's doing. But the rebar concrete scare with Tom, and then they double down later with the fake out with Shadow thinking he's Walker, and then Shadow has the second fake out death with him. That got me.
Yep.
I'm like, this is the end of a trilogy. I don't know where they're going after this, but they could leave Earth or do something. I don't know. And it's like, ugh. And the parallel of getting to see Shadow seeing Sonic huddling over Tom, begging for him to be alive.
And then flashing back to Maria.
Yeah.
By the way, I need to give a shout out to, what is her name? Elila Brown, who plays Maria in the film. She's perfect. She did exactly what she needed to do for those flashback sequences. Like the scene when they're like lying down and just staring at the night sky.
Even when a star is gone, the light still shines. That is not from some poetic ass Oscar bait film. That is from Shadow the Hedgehog. The lines they let Keanu Reeves say as, again, Shadow the Hedgehog were fantastic. And
yep.
I, throughout this whole film, am waiting on, are they actually going to have me witness the murder of this child? And the fact that Shadow, at the end, doesn't get to see that Walker actually tried to save Amy's life, or, now I'm blanking, Maria's life, and he thinks that she's the reason she's dead. And you get to see the backfire of the accident is what killed her when he's trying to save her.
Now, is that like a 1-for-1?
No.
Okay.
No. In the game, she is gunned down. And that is not a paraphrase. She is gunned down. So when I saw this, I'm like, are they going to shoot a child? Are they going to off-screen shoot a child? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, thank God they at least like made that alteration because
that was one thing when I saw fake tweets going out of like Paramount representatives. Now everyone in the crowd, please refrain from cheering when the child is murdered on screen. Oh yeah, their connection was so damn cute. And like part of me, since I don't know if they establish Shadow's always had the roller skates, but part of me wants to think in this canon that he has the roller skates because of Maria.
I'd like to think that's the case.
Yeah. Their shenanigans showing that he actually like showing the dichotomy between the two, not only between them but between the two Robotniks and also Stone.
Dr. Stone. I love that character so much.
He's so good. They actually got to have a wide ranging of people seeing the same situation in different ways, which this good of writing I was not expecting in a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And it goes along slowly, plods toward, like, I should say goes along slowly. This movie fucking hauls ass. But as it finally gets along to where Stone is like, no, or like, Stone the entire time realized that he wasn't a friend with Robotnik, or at least he felt that way that he wasn't. And you get the showdown as all of it's going wrong between Shadow and Sonic on the moon, where they're literally ping-ponging each other across the planet.
It's the most anime that this franchise has gotten. The way they're just like, just going after each other.
Yeah, and you had someone you cared for too. What was his name? Tom. And then he just power beams him clean into outer space. Oh, and then you have the classic moments where he's like, you won, kill me. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. No one wins in revenge. And then he's like, Maria would have wanted that. They have the callback to the quote. And again, we said it during our second review, but I'm so happy that films like this exist. Not only because you and me I was not a Sega kid. I was not. I played the Sonic games later on. I was a Sony and Nintendo boy when I was growing up. I only played Sega on a handheld every once in a while. So I have no ingrained, like, deep, like, memories with Sonic and all that growing up. But it's one of those things where if you know a damn thing about this series and the games at all, when you're having comic book moments akin to, again, the portal scene in, like, Endgame, but kids are getting to have that hype of a moment with Shadow and Sonic of all people, getting to cheer in the theaters and just go nuts, and full grown ass adults are feeling that same kid in them again, and Crush 40 starts playing, I'm tearing up crying, preparing to scream live and learn at the top of my lungs, and then they transform and he goes, gotta go fast, and Sonic goes, don't tell me you have a catchphrase. And he's like, I do, and all the kids love it, and they just, boom, flame off, and just... But, I when I tell you, the moment that I laughed possibly the hardest, And this came out of nowhere.
Are you talking about again, the context of this? I have no idea, but when Knuckles says, like, the Master Emerald is guarded by the most powerful warrior.
No, that wasn't it. But that was
Oh.
funny. I'm happy they had Wade in this film for a little bit, because that was the one, like, he always shows up to have his one little scene, because it's gotten to the point of where he's not all that helpful. No. What broke me to laugh the hardest in this film was when the Robotniks are fighting, and he makes the giant fist. And he goes, "A nano fist? I haven't seen that since I watched Green Lantern in 2011.
Okay.
Part of me was like, if you fuckers show a new character and he's voiced by Ryan Reynolds, I might die. It was so good. Oh, it was so good. But, and then again, Jim Carrey just showing he's having the time of his damn life in these films. And I just have one last thing to say to you that I never thought I would say. It's not something I ever thought I would say. What? I love you? No. But I'm not going to say anymore if you're going to be like that.
He's so good. And then when they're fighting and they grab the mustaches.
Let go on 3. Not the mustache. Oh, it's all so good. And you get to see the classic villain turned hero sacrifice of both Robotnik and Shadow. And they get it off. You get that final thing with, even though it's corny as shit, you get to see Robotnik finally go like, "No, you were the best henchman I could ever have," and all this, and Stone starts crying. It's one of those where it's still sad even though they're being cheesy as shit about it.
Yeah. It kind of has a little bit of that Nickelodeon flavor in terms of like the cheesiness, but
Yeah.
also the sincerity from like people who are genuinely fans of the material.
Yes, and this felt like a, hey guys, I'm actually gone this time. 'Cause I don't know how many times you can fake Robotnik's death. And when he talks about coming back to work on this because he just had so much fun, I'm not saying actors are good actors, but I think this might be the last time we actually see him as Robotnik.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing too. And even though Jim Carrey has gone back and forth on whether or not he'll retire for good, if he actually means it this time, this is one hell of a way to go.
Yeah. And you get to have the good, heartfelt ending where they actually appreciate each other. They're all good on all steps and ready to go. We need to talk about these end credit scenes.
Yes, we do.
Because I was like, all right, who's the new character that we're introducing? I'm like, are they going to go hero? Are they going to go villain? And then they did both. Metal Sonic, which they're not treating like legit Metal Sonic, because legit Metal Sonic, there's one of them, and he is a problem.
Yeah, so the fact that it's not just one, it's like a whole army of them, I was thinking, oh shit, this is new.
This is new. So I have a feeling that unless they have like Metal Sonic Prime or something, this thing's going to be a henchman model for something else, and it's a different villain character. I was thinking they were probably gonna, cut it as they're going in, but then you see it whooshing around, in a more of a flying motion. I'm like, you guys are not introducing Rouge in a not Shadow-related scene right now. And then you see the hammer, and it's Amy looking great. And of course, she does not speak because they need to wait to either hire or announce who they've hired. And again, Anna Kendrick or Ashley Birch. But
I'm not a betting man, but I'm putting money down on that.
yeah. But, and then again, to the shock of almost no one, we get Shadow coming back to pick up his inhibitor rings, which I didn't know if they were gonna do this, where what those are inhibitor rings, where he's not allowed to go full power unless he cracks those boys off. So that's what they did, and I didn't expect. That's why part of me was like, okay, maybe they're legit treating Shadow like a big freaking deal, and having him go 1-0 in a movie, because it's going to be kind of hard to find something that's going to be a threat if Shadow is on the good guy team. Because, as we saw, Live and Learn played and shit got wrecked. But they can prove me wrong. They come and see him pick it up, and as to quote Keanu Reeves when he was asked in the interview with Jeff Fowler, hey, so do you think you can come back to do any more John Wick movies? He goes, I would like to, but I think my knees are telling me no. But then Jeff Fowler goes, but you can voice Sonic or Shadow for like the next 20 years. He goes, you're damn right I can.
Love it.
Yeah,
I have an idea on how to, I guess, not overuse Shadow in like the main Sonic movies. Have him show up for like maybe not a Deus Ex Machina, but something that a lot of like the Dragon Ball Z movies did, like in like the 90s, is there would be this one fight scene where Piccolo comes in, wrecks shop, and then
just takes off.
Yeah.
Now, I could see them also, at some point, they have to try exploring other planets. They've shown that all of them are from different corners of the galaxy through the rings, so there at some point there might be we're going to stash Shadow over here and let him have this own little trilogy while he tries to find the planet that he came from, or something like that. And then as they could freaking mash the up if they alternate Sonic Shadow, and then eventually they do a third movie of both of theirs together, where on whichever it ends, it looks like Sonic's about to get killed, and then Shadow does the exact thing you're just talking about, showing he's finally back. And then it shows that these two have to take care of one singular problem, that it's that big of a deal.
I could see that.
Yeah, that could be sick. This is going to be something that, as long as they keep taking as good of care of it as they are, can last for a long time.
I don't see this franchise slowing down anytime soon. And
because they're filling this characters out
just
quick.
For myself, like the second I left the theater, I immediately bought another ticket because I'm like, I have to see this again.
Oh, I'm going to see it again. I'm telling my roommate that, like, I have Christmas this weekend. There's going to be repeat viewings multiple times.
Yeah, so I'm seeing it again on Saturday, and God, I'm so excited. I'm excited to see this again.
It's so good, and this is kind of unfair to Sonic, but maybe it's just the color scheme, maybe it's whatever. That CGI on Shadow is the best looking character they have in the series.
Oh, 100%.
Shadow looked phenomenal.
If I did have one nitpick as far as like the character designs, I'm not exactly loving how faded Sonic's blue fur is becoming.
That is one thing I was going to bring up if you didn't, as to why I like Shadow's look now so much more. His colors are more vibrant.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're just sticking Sonic in these scenes that his blue seems so much more washed out. But it is definitely lighter than it used to be.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that is a CGI necessity to make animating him easier, possibly.
That's a great question, because in all the other like animated adaptations and in the games, he definitely has like a darker blue hue to his design.
He does, for sure.
I'm not sure why it gets washed out this much in the movies.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if they're just trying to show honest-to-God natural light on fur, and maybe it makes it seem that much lighter.
Could be.
Like, I'm trying to remember what he looks like in the darker scenes in, like, the caves and in the buildings, if it's that much of a difference. I don't know if they're trying to do as best they can with natural lighting, because he would look a lot lighter outside naturally.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know if that's it. When I rewatch it and they're inside the buildings or they're checking out his old house, which you people keep teasing Longclaw. You did it with Knuckles, and you did it again here. It's like, and they did not guarantee Longclaw's dead.
That's true. You like the one rule that they abide by in this franchise is no body, no death.
Yes. And now, give or take, we did not see Robotnik die, but he dispersed into a giant supernova of a galaxy. I would like to have some realistic measures on deaths in this series. That Shadow survived it, that's okay. He's a supersonic hedgehog that had chaos energy running through him and his inhibitor rings off. That's fine. Robotnik is an out-of-shape, middle-aged man. If anyone was going to bite it in that situation and then make it count and Jim Carrey would be okay with it, it was going to be Robotnik. Because you can come up with something from the future or whatever. There could be other things. But, yeah, they've got a lot of room to run, and they're slow dripping these characters in. They're not just dropping in 6 at a time. The fact that they dropped 2 in the end credit scenes of this one is a lot. And we're not even for sure if they're going to make Metal Sonic be Metal Sonic or just like a pawn of a guy who just uses them as drones to take care of Sonic.
What if it's both? What if there is like a Metal Sonic Prime and he just happens to have his own army?
I would kind of not like that, because it devalues just how much... Mike, when I tell you Metal Sonic is a fucking problem...
He's a problem.
He's a fucking problem. Metal Sonic is bordering on the Thanos of Sonic. The dude is not to be dealt with, because he just is built to be literally perfect. To not have weaknesses, and kicks the shit out of everyone. So if Amy can come around and bat at you with a hammer, and then he finally goes, alright, don't do it, mate. No, I don't want that. They could do that, but I want them to either have him be a pawn, or all these pawns get knocked out in the next film, and then the film after that
is the real
They
Metal
perfect
Sonic.
Metal Sonic. That I would like.
Okay. I think I like that better.
Yeah, that could be good. Because if they have the entire film again, like what we just kind of noticed, where if you're going to have the next film be whatever, the next film be where they're kind of perfecting making Metal Sonic, and then it gets released at the end, and it takes both Sonic, Shadow, and whatever other friends get announced at that time to take this guy down. You don't gotta have actors there. You just gotta animate it.
Yep.
That's the joy about animation, people. You could do cooler stuff in it and have it cost less because you don't gotta pay these actors to be there in person. Which is another thing where you should hire some freaking professional voice actors, because you know what? They're used to getting paid shit and they want to do cool things and they're okay with getting paid ass because that's all you'll ever pay them. One of my favorite quotes was, oh man, who was it? I remember the voice actor who said it, but I can't remember who the voice actor they were talking to. Somebody mentioned Kyle A. Bear in a tweet, and he goes, so what are you going to do when blank and blank big celebrity gets into the voice acting game and they do all the jobs? He's like, I'm not worried, because once they see the paycheck, they're not going to do it anymore. I'm like, Kyle, I love you. I love that all the voice actors will openly admit they get paid ass.
I mean, they should be being paid more, but that's besides the point.
They make most of their earnings and they clean up at cons. You wonder why these people live at conventions, because that's where they make most of their livings from.
Yep.
And that's why they're okay with doing a bunch of roles, a shit ton of roles at once, because that encompasses all the fans that will then come there to pay to go meet them, to where they don't gotta go through the middleman. But, yeah, that's all I got. I'm like 9 out of 10. 9.5. This was awesome.
Yeah. Guys, even if you're like not really a Sonic fan, maybe you're just a casual fan of the first two movies, go see this one.
Go see it multiple times. Show them that we actually appreciate when they take good care of these properties and want to do faithful stuff, because cool stuff like this happens when it's supported.
Yep.
So go out there and support it. All right. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture, also Blue Sky. You can also find us on YouTube on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. Every now and then on a former media platform formerly known as X. I have a Blue Sky, but I don't really use it. Or if you're a cosplayer or like to see any of my adventures at cons, check out my Instagram. I have pretty much everything at Organoid Zero nailed down to the floor. All right, everyone. Until next time, we will see you all later. Bye!